With us on the broadcast is Major Mohammad Ali Shah. Sir, can you hear me?
Hear you, Baldi. Clearly.
All right, awesome. So, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, now, yesterday, on Saturday, after the unfortunate incident took place, of course, there were protests, there were camps of the army that were also set on fire, and right after that, Section 144 was imposed. Is that the normal prerogative? Is that what happens usually when, a situation like this arises?
Yes, Pradeep, it's very normal for Section 144 to be imposed over there to ensure, because there were protests thereafter and there was a large gathering, and in Northeast especially, they have been the villagers, the tribals get together in thousands. I have personally seen with my own eyes a mob of thousands coming and going helter-skelter. So when trouble arises, most certainly it's a very normal situation. They switch off the internet, the SMS, yes. But now at the same time, I would like to say one more thing, Pradeep. Now the 5-member delegation of TMC was headed towards Nagaland to convey their condolences to the bereaved families. What role does TMC have in Nagaland, firstly? Are they in power? Secondly, the 4 MPs, 2 from Rajya Sabha, 2 from Lok Sabha, the Santanu Sen, Sushmita Dev, and the Lok Sabha MPs, Prasun Banerjee, Anupama Podar. Now, what they were going, fine, they had checked into the airport, they got the boarding pass, they went towards the boarding gate, and just when they were about to board the aircraft, they were told not to go there. Why? Because they did not want to get accused by the BJP for going there and playing politics. Fine. Didn't they think of this while before they were booking their tickets, that if they go to Nagaland, they would be accused of playing politics over there, and they were against. They were saying, let's repeal the Armed Forces Special Power Act over there. Isko maaf karna, I'm not going against any party to giving a very apolitical statement over there. Be it any politician from any party for that matter, any party. Isko कहते हैं दूसरे की चिता पे अपनी रोटियां सेकना. There is a tragedy over there, and I think the government in Nagaland, the Nephew Rio's government, they are self-sufficient. They're good enough as politicians to convey their condolence to the bereaved families of Nagaland. A third party, Begani Shadi mein Abdullah Diwana, a third party, in a way it's good. In a way I would say it's good that they did not go there, because had they gone there, they would have only played politics thereafter, invoked passions, emotions of people. And because we all know the normal pulses to repeal the Armed Forces Special Power Act. Let me tell you one more thing. In Assam Rifles, the majority of the force, the soldiers are all from the Northeast itself. And many of them have somebody in their relatives, their cousin or somebody in the family, who would be an insurgent. But that does not mean that we question the loyalty of the soldier. We really are with the soldier, yes. Now, they themselves, their families themselves have a problem with the Armed Forces Special Power Act. Look at the irony. The Assam Rifles soldier itself is from Northeast, from Nagaland or from Manipur, and their families are suffering because they're saying they suffer. They don't support the Armed Forces Special Power Act. So the moment, I'll give you one more, I'll quote another incident. When the protest happened, when the locals, the youth, went and burnt a COB, a company of the Assam Rifles in Mon district. At that time, I will not name the party, but one politician landed up there and he said, I had my political party flag, but despite my flag being there, I was targeted, I was being fired upon, they were stone pelted, I was shoot away from there. First thing I would like to ask, what was the politician doing there in that disturbance? Why did he go there? He had no business to go there. Let security forces do their job. I tell the politicians once again, in no uncertain terms, please let the security forces do their job. They are already under stress. They are already under pressure. Do not pressurize them anymore. Because over there is already a pressure being built up among the local youth. And yes, the Assam Rifles, they are known as the friends of the hill people. It pains me no end, because we worked very, very hard to build the goodwill. When Assam Rifles had nothing to do with the incident in the first place. Assam Rifles was nowhere involved with the incident that took place. It was the special forces that went in for the ambush. But who was at the buying end? Who gets a bad name? The Assam Rifles. The COB was burnt of the Assam Rifles. People go there, Assam Rifles, and Assam Rifles is a fighting force which never shifts from the Northeast. Unlike the army, where we get 2 postings in Jammu Kashmir, 2 postings in Delhi, then 2 years in Northeast, then you come back to peace area. Assam Rifles personnel never get to taste peace at all. They are forever in the Northeast. That's why it was the NAFA earlier, the Northeast Frontier Force initially. And then they shifted over to Assam Rifles. So now, my request is, please, the politicians should refrain from playing politics at this time. Feel the pulse of the public that they want repeal of armed force special power. That's up to the parliament to decide. The matter would be taken up, yes. It would be subject to this, yes. But let's see what comes out of it. At this time, at this juncture, my appeal is for the local villagers. Please do not take law in your hands and please do not play politics. Thank you so much for taking my views into consideration to something I really felt deeply from the bottom of my heart. I have strong emotions based in Nagaland, especially. I've had 2 tenures. My father has had several tenures. I was ADC to, incidentally, Lieutenant General Zamiruddin Shah, who always propagated peace in Nagaland. He has a very strong goodwill. Lieutenant General Zamiruddin Shah Sahab, he was offered to go as the chairman ceasefire monitoring group after retirement from the army as the deputy chief of the army staff. That's the kind of goodwill that we used to enjoy in Nagaland. And right now it really pains me no end. It pains me no end. I've been to Nagaland even after leaving the army. I have gone and judged the Miss Nagaland contest, the Miss Diyapur contest, the Miss Kohima contest, the Miss Northeast contest. Now, I have gone there on business trips. I have gone there through my company as well. So, I have strong attachments to Northeast. I am wearing a Sema jacket right now, an Angami tie, which has been gifted to me by my friends, Nagas, while I was there in the Northeast. So, the politicians who know nothing, who don't know anything of Nagaland are trying to go there right now, and they are projecting it like there's a big favor they're doing by not going there right now. But we will go there. What is the situation? Well, 1st of December was Hornbill Festival. 1st of December was Hornbill Festival, a very big international festival. Nobody ever went there in solitude or to support the Naga festival. They do not know what's happening in Nagaland. They do not know the realities. If you ask anybody from Northeast in Delhi at the airport, where are you from? Nobody will tell you Nagaland or Manipur. They'll say, we are from the Northeast part of India, because they'll presume and they'll assume that you probably would not be knowing what Nagaland or Manipur or Imphal or Kohima is. That is why. And secondly, I really condemn also people in the mainland who call people from Northeast chinkies and such kind of, it is a slur. It is something, and that is the reason why if you interact with anybody from Northeast, they will say that, we really would not really want to come to Delhi to study or to identify. You come to Delhi, go to Miranda House, go to Lady Shri Ram College, go to the good colleges in Pune, Ferguson College, Pune, my own college. We had most of the people from Northeast, in fact, over there. So certainly, they are our own people. We have to understand one more thing, that the insurgency in Northeast and the insurgency in Jammu Kashmir is very different. In Jammu Kashmir, we are fighting people who have come across the border from Pakistan, who have been trained there. In Northeast, we are fighting our own people. They're Indians at the end of the day. So we've got to be very careful, and it pains me no end. And my heartfelt condolence to the bereaved families once more.
Okay, all right, absolutely, Major Shah. And before we let you go, I have just one last question for you. Let's talk about the operation at hand, the operation that did take place. The Home Minister said that it was a case of mistaken identity. Giving details, he also said that the forces tried to stop the van, and then the van did not stop after repeated warnings. In fact, it fled. Is that something that is seen as a red sign? And, was that something that could have possibly gotten our forces to open fire on the vehicle without actually determining whether or not the people inside had any kind of arms or ammunition? Is that something that could have happened?
I think it is a red sign, definitely the red sign. If you stop in a peace station in Delhi or in Mumbai, if we are stopped by traffic police, we would stop. We would immediately stop. Actions taken there where challan is cut. I'm coordinating the peace station. Now, that vehicle should have ideally stopped. I'm not defending the armed forces. I'm not defending what happened. I'm not defending. No, what happened was wrong, and I am deeply pained. It was not just a mistake or an error or mistaken identity. It was a grave mistake, no doubt about that. But the vehicle in the first place should have stopped. Why ask for trouble? When you know it's a troubled area as it is, when you know it's midnight, when you know it's dark, when you have been asked to stop, and if there's nothing wrong that you're doing, if there's nothing illegal with you, you will stop and say, come and search us. Yes, and so, yes, that unfortunate incident did happen because operationally speaking, tactfully speaking, if you were a soldier in the army or in the police for that matter, and if you would have flagged the vehicle to stop and the vehicle does not stop, what would you do? You would try to control the situation and you'll pass the next post, yes? And even then, the vehicle does not stop and it goes on. It certainly is a red sign, 100%. There is no doubt about that, Pragati.
Absolutely. Major Shah, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, giving us all of those insights. Of course, having served in Nagaland, you know the details, and we really appreciate you taking the time out to have this conversation with us.